Are institutional reforms that lone panacea that would help Cameroon drive it towards emergence? Is a question that many people have been asking. That is why we decided to discuss it today, equally trying to factor in where this whole drive of corruption is coming from, that is taking all Cameroonians by storm from all the 10 regions of the country. We hear tribalistic tendency, hate speech at the left, right, center. We find out who is fueling tribalism. But we begin our discussions with this question on institutional reforms that has been making noise and raising many doors for more than decades now. We equally are going to be announcing today the winner of the July contest as far as the mayors are concerned. Many votes came in on Wednesday and the rebroadcast of yesterday. So today we are going to know who the winner for July's contest is. We are going to be discussing these two topics as announced in the beginning of this program with our panelists. We have Dr. Nick Ngwana. He is a politician, he is an educationist and a social entrepreneur. Good evening and welcome.
Thank you very much. It's a very exciting topic, or rather they are exciting topics, and I hope that at the end of the day we will all be a lot better than when we started, because we are here to educate and learn from each other.
Salomon Bias is a militant of the CRM movement of Professor Maurice Kamto. He's equally a jurist. He's a member of today's panel. Good evening and welcome.
Bonsoir Léonard Combe, bonsoir Dr. Nick.
Merci.
Très heureux de vous avoir sur ce plateau avec moi. C'est un honneur pour moi. Je voudrais profiter pour rendre hommage à deux figures historiques de notre pays qui ont été à la base, n'est-ce pas, de la construction de notre hymne national. Il s'agit de Samuel Mikombamba et René Djam Afane, deux figures historiques dont j'ai découvert pour la première fois quand je faisais la classe du CM1. Et aujourd'hui, près de 30 ans après, ils sont oubliés carrément. Il n'y a même pas de possibilité de restaurer leur mémoire. C'est comme si on les avait enterrés, oubliés, et que l'action qu'ils avaient menée n'avait aucun sens dans l'intérêt de la nation. Alors bien que notre hymne national, paix, travail, patrie, symbolise en fond sonore l'intérêt que nous devons porter sur nos héros, ceux-là même qui ont bâti, qui ont placé le ciment pour que notre pays devienne ce qu'il est aujourd'hui.
We are waiting the arrival of Prince Joel and Edmond Kwati, who are on their way to this studio out here at Fengudrombange in Douala Littoral Region. We begin our discussions with you, Dr. Nick. We are talking about institutional reforms. When we talk of institutional reforms, what are we saying?
Institutional reforms is a concept that is well understood by entrepreneurs and the people who pay attention to leadership and management. And if you want to know how things work, if you want to know how to lead human beings so that they produce the needed goods or services, if you want to create a system that is efficient, is effective and efficient, and is accountable, if you want to create a system that depends on merit, if you want to create a system that fights corruption, that's what we are talking about. But if you are just saying it for the sake of it, and you are just changing people, and then the organigram is not very clear, you don't know who reports to who, and even when you put that, and people are, junior staff are going behind the backs of their bosses and doing funny things, and nobody respects hierarchy, then you could do whatever you want. It will not work, because you cannot. We have two issues here. We have the structure, and then we have the people who work in the structure so that the structure can deliver. If you put in place the structure and the people don't have character like most of our civil servants, then nothing will work, and you can keep turning on in circles. So when we are doing institutional reforms, we are talking about creating institutions and structures and putting in place the best practices, the working mechanisms, and how the checks and balances and so on, so that even if you are not there, you can predict what would happen. If you are not there, you will know what would happen if someone were to tell you, this man, we caught this man stealing, you'll be able to say yes or no because you actually put in mechanisms that work. So as of now, when we talk about institutional reforms, I don't know what we are saying.
You don't know what we are saying. Est-ce qu'on a besoin des réformes institutionnelles au Cameroun?
Bien sûr qu'on a besoin de toutes les réformes. De toutes les réformes possibles. On a besoin même de réinventer le Cameroun. C'est le terme même que je pense qui me semble approprié parce que...
Réinventer le Cameroun?
Oui, bien sûr, réinventer le Cameroun. Pourquoi je le dis? J'ai suivi à suffisance le magistrat Polaya Abiné dans une radio de la place, dont je vais taire le nom ici, dire de façon claire. Et aujourd'hui, nous les jeunes qui sommes éveillés, qui cherchons à savoir qu'est-ce que c'est que le Cameroun, arrivons toujours à poser cette question. Le Cameroun n'est-il pas une fiction juridique? Il a si bien dit en fait que le Cameroun est assis sur plusieurs paradigmes dont le droit n'a pas acté de façon claire. Et ce flou-là est entretenu par la façon dont nos institutions ont été formés et dont les hommes qui sont assis dans ces institutions fonctionnent. Dr Nick parlait tout à l'heure d'un substrat. D'un côté, il y a l'agencement, il y a la structure, il y a l'agencement de la structure et de l'autre côté, il y a le substrat. Il y a des personnes qui sont intégrées dans cette structure pour faire épanouir la structure, du moins dans son fonctionnement. Alors, si déjà au départ, il y a une mauvaise création de la structure, alors le substrat qui sera mis à l'intérieur forcément prendra la forme du récipient qui le contient, donc dans la suite, il y aura des mauvais résultats. C'est pour ça que je ne suis pas surpris au Cameroun quand je vois bien qu'on nous explique de façon claire dans l'histoire, ceux-là qui ne poussent peut-être pas la réflexion loin et qui ignorent qu'en 1960, c'était la République du Cameroun, et qu'en 1961, c'était la République du certain Cameroun. Et qu'on est revenu de façon ostentatoire, sans pouvoir bien expliquer comment la réunification a été faite. Est-ce qu'il y a eu un acte qui a symbolisé ça de façon claire, de telle sorte que tout Camerounais puisse avoir la possibilité de voir comment sommes-nous partis de la République unie du Cameroun à la République du Cameroun? Comment nos institutions, de par la Constitution, ont pris corps depuis 1960 jusqu'à nos jours? Si on essaie de sonder cet univers, on pourra donc comprendre les résultats que nous avons aujourd'hui. Un Cameroun qui n'est pas prospère, un Cameroun où tout fonctionne mal, un Cameroun où la corruption est devenue le phare qui éclaire la société, où le manque de méritocratie, où les replis identitaires, où le tribalisme d'État a pris le pas sur la République. Moi, ce n'est pas de ce pays-là que je veux. C'est pour ça que je pense qu'une réforme institutionnelle et même réinventer le Cameroun de façon globale s'impose pour que le pays tout entier...
Quand vous parlez de réinventer le Cameroun, qu'est-ce que ça veut dire?
Mais réinventer le Cameroun, vous savez, il y a un mot qui fonctionne là. Quand on écoute un peu nos dirigeants, ils disent la forme de l'État, on ne touche pas. Mais nous nous rendons bien aujourd'hui compte que c'est cette forme de l'État qui cause d'énormes mésententes aujourd'hui.
S'il faut réinventer le Cameroun, est-ce qu'il faut rentrer dans l'époque des Allemands?
Non. Le problème, ce n'est pas de rentrer dans l'époque des Allemands. Le problème, c'est que l'histoire fonde la nation. C'est sur l'histoire, la mémoire collective, qu'on implante les bases d'une nation. Alors, si de façon historique, comme l'histoire est claire, quand on l'entronque, on met le peuple ou bien on met la nation en danger. La vérité, c'est que réinventer le Cameroun, c'est réellement mettre sur la table la vraie histoire du Cameroun et que les enfants du Cameroun soient face à cette histoire. Donc, je pense que la connaissance de cette histoire mettra une fois sur place les bases du Cameroun, qui ne sera pas un Cameroun comme ce que nous vivons aujourd'hui, parce que je pense que le Cameroun tel que nous vivons aujourd'hui n'est pas le Cameroun qu'on a pensé vivre il y a quelques années.
Dr. Nick, we are talking about institutional reforms. We know that there are institutions that exist in Cameroon, which has been functioning since Cameroon got its independence. What is the key problem with our institutions?
Well, the key problem with the institutions is that yes, we've had institutions that have been functioning since independence, but we've never found out whether they're effective and they're efficient. Nobody has been measuring their output. We just put them there and let them be. Let me cite, for instance, there is I was talking on another television the other day, or was it on radio? I can't remember. There's an institution we have in the country, the Economic and the Social Council.
Yeah.
I'm 63 years old. Don't ask me what they do. Don't ask me where they give their report and what they stand for. I don't know what their importance is. There's another one, Chambre d'Agriculture. I don't know what they do, and I don't know what they stand for. So we have a couple of things like that, and we just have some things that are just existing. And it's like having corn in a bag, and it comes a moment where you have to sieve the corn and get the good grains out, and then throw away the bad grains.
When you say you don't know what their essence, actually, why do you not know their essence? Is it that they were created for no real reason?
You know,
or that there is that lack of political will to get them fully functional?
No, the point about it is that there are some structures that were put there a long time ago, and the people who put the structures there, they had an intention. They intended it to do something. The people are no longer there, and then others have come and have taken over from where they left it. And sometimes, you know, as it drifts along, the vision is lost. And people just occupy some of these posts, and all they do is go to work, sit on the table, have a big office, watch television, you know, get air conditioned, you know, some cooling, and drink some coffee, and then they're driven back home again. But you know, in terms of production, what do they produce? What use are they? Of what good are they? You know, we need to sit at table and take all our institutions and go through this, so that everybody can give a balance sheet. Something that is not useful, you know, we throw it out because they're just consuming the state budget. We pay people for work not done. We pay people for things that are not done. In fact, I mean, I'm telling you about it. Of course, we all went to university. If you know what the Economic and Social Council has done in this country, on your 5 fingers, let me know.
Where should these reforms begin?
Well, the reforms begin with us learning a few things. It's about a paradigm shift. You know, but there have been some reforms coming in the nation, you know, because we moved from a single party state, and then we are going to multipartyism, and it's having a lot of
we've been in multipartyism for years now, for decades now.
Yeah, but sometimes some labor lasts more than others. You know what I mean by that? Yeah, there are some labor pains that are more severe sometimes, and then, you know, you can be a democracy, then you can become a democracy avancée, then you look for another word. So it's a growth process. So what I'm saying is that it's a mindset, it's a change in the way we think. And we need to follow that through, because when the politics, what is politics? You know, I had the opportunity of chatting with His Eminence Christian Cardinal Tumi in December 2008. That's the day I understood the meaning of politics. Politics is, we were conversing on a subject, and we touched on politics, and he said it was necessary for people who had integrity and who speak the truth, good Muslims and good Christians, to go into politics. And their purpose for going into politics is to ensure that good policies are put in place and then implemented to the letter. Two things: put in place good policies. That means in Parliament, Senate, or whatever, you should put in place good policies. Then the executive that are crafting all those policies, make sure they are good, true and good. Then when these are adopted into law or policies or whatever, then make sure that on the field, those policies are applied to the letter. Then the country can grow. So if that's what politics is all about. So if it starts with all of that, if we don't have good people, good Muslims and good Christians, who can make sure that when they enter into those institutions that can put in place good policies and follow them through, if we have people who tell lies, if we have people who are lazy, if we have people who are cheats, nothing is going to change.
Nothing is going to change. Addressing the nation, I'm sure last year or year before last, the President of the Republic talked about speeding up the decentralization process. Do you think that is where this whole process should start?
Ça ne peut même plus être possible. Ce n'est même plus une option à mettre sur la table. Vous vous rendez bien compte, Léo, que la Constitution de janvier...
Yeah, because many people, let me cue you again, many people have been complaining of the over-centralization of power in Yaoundé, where almost everything has to take root or power or source from Yaoundé. People think that, okay, the presidency there should be decentralization if regions and other institutions get autonomy to some extent. Things will filter a bit and then move faster.
Ce que j'étais en train d'expliquer, c'est que dans un pays sérieux même, Ce n'est même pas le président de la République qui doit parler de la décentralisation. Nous avons une instance, un parlement, où nous avons des élus du peuple qui discutent, n'est-ce pas, de la façon dont le peuple doit fonctionner dans son système juridique tout entier, dans son mode de gouvernance. C'est eux qui définissent, n'est-ce pas, le cadre juridique dans lequel la politique du chef de l'État doit être implémentée. Et dans le cas du Cameroun, nous nous rendons bien compte que la Constitution de janvier 1996 a prévu que le Cameroun doit être géré dans un modèle de république unitaire décentralisée. Nous rendons bien compte, 20 ans plus tard et plus, que cette décentralisation qui aurait pu être une bonne chose si elle avait été pensée et actée. Elle devait être une bonne chose dans son fonctionnement parce que nous constatons bien que l'État unitaire décentralisé, ce n'est pas un mauvais modèle de gouvernance. Mais au Cameroun, on a juste mis ça comme ça sur la place publique sans avoir mis les mécanismes et la volonté de vouloir vraiment diriger dans le Cameroun dans ce siège-là. C'est pour ça qu'aujourd'hui, on a l'impression que malgré que la Constitution de 1976 ait prévu que le Cameroun serait un État unitaire décentralisé, on n'a pas l'impression que le Cameroun se vit vraiment dans tous ses démembrements comme étant un État unitaire décentralisé. C'est pour ça que tout Camerounais sérieux qui comprend comment le Cameroun fonctionne n'est pas surpris de ce qui se passe aujourd'hui. Effectivement, vous venez de mentionner avec acuité l'autocentralisation du pouvoir, qui est effectivement la volonté de ceux qui nous dirigent à pouvoir tout mettre sur leur tête. Léonard Koumi, imaginez, vous êtes à Loum, par exemple. Vous êtes directeur d'une école. Vous voulez les tables bancs. Mais les gens pensent à Yaoundé qu'on va vous envoyer une bonne fontaine. Vous êtes à Loum. Vous voulez qu'on vous donne la route. Mais les gens pensent qu'on va vous faire un comice agro-pastoral qui ne peut pas résoudre les problèmes que vous avez. Or, dans un régime, n'est-ce pas, dans un État unitaire décentralisé dans sa forme et dans son fonctionnement, de pareilles choses devaient être corrigées. J'ai encore souvenance que les aînés disaient à une certaine époque que les délégués du gouvernement avaient été créés tout simplement pour bloquer l'action des maires. Comment, dans un pays sérieux comme le Cameroun, un délégué du gouvernement qui est nommé dans un État unitaire décentralisé a plus de pouvoir qu'un maire et que la tutelle des mairies puisse être la préfecture. Ça n'a même aucun sens. C'est pour ça que je pense que le Cameroun doit être réinventé dans ce sens. On doit même mettre ce modèle de côté parce que ce modèle n'a même jamais été implémenté pour ne même pas dire qu'il a montré ses limites. Il n'y a jamais eu une volonté manifeste de gérer le Cameroun dans ce sens. Aujourd'hui, on a les problèmes qu'on a et je pense qu'on doit penser à un autre modèle social. C'est pour ça que je pense que, étatique, c'est pour ça que je pense que le fédéralisme est la solution à la gestion du Cameroun aujourd'hui. Nous avons dans les démembrements des personnes qui sont élues, les présidents des conseils régionaux élus, les maires élus, que cette histoire des délégués du gouvernement disparaisse et cette histoire des préfets et des sous-préfets, à mon sens, qui sont des foyers de niche, des dépenses publiques qui n'arrivent pas à résoudre les problèmes des Camerounais, dont les Camerounais ont besoin aujourd'hui. Ça pousse les Camerounais à aller mourir dans la mer comme des exilés qui vont, parce qu'au Cameroun, ils ne parviennent pas à trouver un espace où ils peuvent s'exprimer parce que ces gens-là envahissent l'espace public et empêchent les Camerounais de s'épanouir.
Dr. Nick, we are talking about the over-centralization of power in Yaoundé, and many more people have been clamoring for decentralization, effective decentralization, where local collectivities will have greater powers and autonomy to manage their own affairs. The fact that this aspect has been dragging for so long, how much is it costing the state and why the delayance?
Well, I don't know why the delayance, but you know, I had debated on this subject for such a long time, and I meditated over it, and I researched. And you remember about 2 months ago, I came out with a paper talking about confederation.
Yeah.
And I took time off in many media to explain, you know, what is centralization, what is decentralization a la Camerounaise, what is federalism as we used to have it in 1961, and why I'm talking about confederation now, and why it must work, and why it should work. If we are true to ourselves, that is the only formula that will liberate the nation. And I said that when we have two confederal states, with Yaoundé being a confederal capital city not linked to any of this, and then causing decentralization a la Cameroonese within the states, that will cause some stability. And like Bea was saying, of course, when we have that model, you know, everybody will be elected, so you will not have government delegates and all these kind of people who tend to kind of suffocate the system so that it doesn't work. There will be accountability. People will be able to solve their own problems where they are and so on. So I think it's just a problem of goodwill, and the problems are solved.
It's a problem of goodwill. If you are just joining us, you are watching Prime on My Media Prime, to say that today we are going to declare the winner of the contest for this this month. Lots of televiewers have been voting for their best mayor. So by the end of this program, we are going to announce who is the winner of that contest. I stay with you since we are talking about institutional reforms. He says, Solomon Bea says Cameroon should be reinvented. Should that start by a constitutional amendment or a revision of the constitution?
What Cameroon...
Because even if we were to land on the confederation you are proposing, that will pass through a constitutional reform.
Yes, the thing about it is that we just have to, first of all, agree that we need to change. Mm-hmm. That's where we need, whether they, you know, it's, when I was studying surgery, sometimes there was an American professor who came and taught us something. Mm-hmm. We used to kind of like try to memorize, you do this, you correct this, you do this procedure using this man's technique, and he made life so easy to us. And he came and asked us, stop worrying about this man's technique. He put it in question format. What is the best way of skinning a cat? And if I were to ask you what's the best way of skinning a cat? If the problem is skinning a cat, let's skin a cat. The problem is Cameroon has problems. Let's start from somewhere and solve the problems. Or are we going to start with parliament because the parliament is so corrupt, we cannot even discuss the Anglophone problem? Or should we start with ministers? Or should we start, I mean, where are you going to start from? And then step back a little bit and look at it. We have over how many ministers or ministries and so on. Everything is just a bag of problems. But let's just agree that we need to start solving these problems and solve them seriously. And the most important ingredient that we need is truth. It doesn't matter whether we start from the nursery schools. It doesn't matter whether we start with the military. It doesn't matter whether we start with the farmer. It doesn't matter whether we start in the councils. If truth is absent, nothing will work, because up until now, that's what has been absent from the system, the lack of truth.
The lack of truth. Est-ce qu'il faut réviser la Constitution? Et s'il faut la réviser, qu'est-ce qu'il faut changer?
Moi, je ne pense pas qu'il faudrait la réviser. Je pense qu'il faut dissoudre la Constitution.
Mais
il faut la dissoudre. Je suis en train de vous expliquer, il faut dissoudre la Constitution du Cameroun complètement et refaire un nouveau pouvoir constituant qui doit refaire une nouvelle constitution. Je pense que le pouvoir constituant originaire camerounais qui a bâti les constitutions du Cameroun, parce que nous en savons, depuis 61 jusqu'à nos jours, n'a pas intégré la vraie structure du Cameroun et le vrai modèle social dont le Cameroun aurait besoin pour être un pays émergent. Nous nous rendons bien compte que beaucoup d'années après l'indépendance et beaucoup d'années après un espoir qu'on a eu dans les années 90 où on a pensé qu'il y aurait un essor, nous sommes retombés des années en arrière. Je vis avec des aînés qui nous disent pratiquement que le Cameroun en 1970 est mieux que le Cameroun d'aujourd'hui dans sa structure et même dans son fonctionnement. Alors, comprenant ce qui se passe aujourd'hui, nous sommes à cheval aujourd'hui entre plusieurs problèmes qui mènent la société. Il y a entre autres le problème historique qui intègre la structure interne du Cameroun, le Cameroun oriental et le Cameroun occidental, avec le problème de la crise anglophone dans ses revendications profondes. Nous avons le problème de gouvernance qui intègre le modèle de société et le fonctionnement, n'est-ce pas, de nos institutions et la répartition même globale de la richesse nationale, voire même en toile de fond, les possibilités qu'il y a à accéder aux fonctions de pouvoir. Tels sont des mécanismes qui arrivent aujourd'hui à bloquer le Cameroun et à le visser. Et je pense que dans ce sillage-ci, le Cameroun est incapable de fonctionner. Nous sommes arrivés au bout du rouleau compresseur et je pense que l'intérêt pour tout le monde serait qu'on s'arrête et qu'on recommence.
Solomon Bea, vous avez dit qu'en 72, le Cameroun s'est porté mieux que c'est qu'elle est aujourd'hui.
Ce que les aînés disent.
Oui, sûrement sur la base de la Constitution qui existait. Est-ce que vous ne trouvez pas que c'est les personnes, les mauvais castings que la Constitution?
Je vais vous dire quelque chose, Léo. Quand vous avez une maladie, à la première semaine, elle vous secoue. Quand elle fait 3 semaines, elle vous met au lit. Et quand elle fait 1 mois, elle vous tue. En réalité, le Cameroun vivait mieux en 72. Ce n'était pas parce qu'il y avait des bases assez crédibles, non. Mais c'est que le mal n'était pas assez profond. C'est que plus le temps a évolué, le mal est devenu profond et a affecté la structure globale du Cameroun. Vous vous rendez compte que ceux qui n'ont pas... Moi, j'ai fait toutes les structures que mon pays m'a demandé pour être éduqué. Le primaire, le secondaire et le supérieur. En aucun moment dans cette formation, on ne m'a parlé de la véritable histoire de mon pays. C'est quand j'ai commencé à intégrer la société que j'ai commencé à me poser des questions, que j'ai commencé à questionner le Cameroun et où j'ai découvert qu'il y avait des choses dont nous devions être au courant et dont le pouvoir éducationnel n'a pas voulu mettre, n'est-ce pas, accès aux jeunes Camerounais, alors que ces informations devaient constituer la muraille même qui devait faire de nous des vrais patriotes. Et c'est ça qui cause tout le mal-être que nous avons aujourd'hui. Si je rentre quelques années en arrière, vous vous rendez bien compte que ça fait près de 25 ans ou 30 ans qu'on avait demandé à M. Biya, à l'époque, qu'il y avait des personnes qui détournaient de façon ostentatoire la fortune publique. Et qu'est-ce qu'il avait dit? Qu'il a besoin des preuves. Écoutez, la Constitution de 1996, à son article 66, intègre la déclaration des biens et avoirs avant et après l'accès, n'est-ce pas, à une fonction élective ou alors une fonction gouvernementale. Où est passé cet article 66? Est-ce que vous connaissez, vous avez souvenance qu'il y a une seule personne?
Oui, est-ce que, mais une fois je vous relance, est-ce que le problème c'est l'article ou le non-respect de l'article?
Je vous dis bien.
La Constitution demande qu'on le fait. Et si on ne le fait pas, est-ce que le problème c'est la Constitution ou c'est les personnes qui ne veulent pas
Dr Nick
respecter?
A dit tout à l'heure, dans une société, on intègre toutes les composantes.
Oui.
Le droit, je veux dire, c'est une composante. La loi en est une autre. Et je vous dis encore, le droit ou la loi ne sont pas la justice. Ce ne sont même pas l'équité ou même la vérité. Pour diriger les gens, on ne doit pas seulement brandir la loi ou le droit. On doit intégrer les concepts tels l'équité, telle la vérité. On doit intégrer les vertus. Parce que même si on a la loi ou le droit, et dont d'autres composantes comme l'équité, la vérité, la justice ne sont pas intégrées, on fabrique des faux hommes comme ceux qu'on a aujourd'hui à la tête de nos États et de nos institutions, qui ne sont que là pour véhiculer ce que je pourrais appeler entre guillemets...
Mais les faux hommes sont fabriqués par la Constitution?
Non, je vais vous expliquer. Oui. Pour arriver à une fonction, c'est la loi qui vous encadre. Oui. Alors si la loi est mal faite à la base, si les institutions sont mal faites, si le droit a été mal codifié...
Salomon, la loi demande que you should present, you should do... you are talking about Article 66, right, of the Constitution. That requires that you make public what you have before you take up.
Mais nous avons donc cette loi qui existe.
If it is not respected, is it the law?
Pourquoi ce n'est pas respecté alors que la loi a une portée générale et impersonnelle?
Ma question est que est-ce que c'est la loi ou c'est les hommes qui ne veulent pas respecter la loi?
Je vous disais que c'est un ensemble. Il y a le substrat et il y a la structure. Et les deux doivent être connexés pour fonctionner. Un ne peut pas fonctionner sans l'autre. Vous voyez bien, on est tous d'accord aujourd'hui. Vous voyez, il y a cet article 66.
Oui, oui.
Mais pourquoi il n'est pas appliqué? Parce que ceux-là qui sont chargés...
Est-ce que l'article peut s'appliquer? C'est les hommes qui...
C'est réellement ces intentions que je veux mettre en avant.
Doctor.
Qui ne sont pas de bonnes intentions.
Yes, let's look at the level of your domain. I'm talking about the domain of education. Yeah. What are some of these reforms that needs to take place to get us away? Because we're talking about emergence. And
that's right.
It passes through the type of education that is implemented.
Have you changed the topic to emergence now? Because I wanted to say something about emergence.
No. It goes to institutional reforms, the badly needed factor for Cameroon's emergence.
All right, that's good. That's good.
That's the topic.
Yeah, before I answer the question, let us first define what emergence means. Yeah. Otherwise, we get confused. Now, you know, a couple of years back, President Paul Biya, His Excellency President Paul Biya, said that the nation Cameroon has to emerge by 2035. Yeah. I mean, all Cameroonians are aware of that, except those that were born today. But what we don't understand, what many Cameroonians don't understand, is that it is not a slogan. But we have been so used to slogans that we will think that 2035 is just another slogan. And then come the year 2035 would emerge. It's not true. When he talks about 2035, he's giving us a program. And, you know, we as Cameroonians, we are now supposed to sit down and meditate and think. When the president says we are going to emerge by 2035, what exactly does he mean? What does emergence mean? What does it really mean? At that time, what will we be able to see as indicators or as factors to show that we've actually emerged? You know, when I was thinking about this subject, Leo, you know, the last time we were here, we talked about independence, dependence, and interdependence.
Yeah.
And then we were discussing that, and then patriotism, we were discussing that, and then we promised to come back to it. In fact, when you talk about the emergence, emergence comes, you know, it plays on the same field with that independence, because there is no way you can emerge without independence. And what kind of independence are we talking about? Emergence actually means a couple of things. And if you don't have them, you are not going to emerge. I just wrote them down here just because my mind is already beginning to fail me. When the president says we are going to emerge by the year 2035, he means that we are going to get a special kind of independence by year 2035. It's another kind of form of independence. It is technological independence. It is industrial independence. It is economic independence. It's human development independence. It's an educational independence. It's
energy. We are
yes,
independent from
energy independence.
Security independence.
Jobs for all. Security. Name it. Name it. You are right. That 2035 means by that time the country would be approaching some utopia. All right? Those things that we want, we would begin to get close to them. And what are those things that we want? Take our ministries. Even if you don't know how to work it out, take our ministries. Are there 20 ministries or how many? I don't know. Each of those departments is an area of emergence. All right? So is it education? We need to emerge in our education. What do we mean? Is it health? Our health has to be the best. We need to have hospitals and services as good as those in America. Is it the commerce and industry? All those things have to be as good. We need to meet international standards. Well, that's what he means. The question now is, how do you get there? Because Cameroonians are still sleeping and running after women, drinking their mimbos, smoking cigarettes, and then talking empty politics without doing the right thing. You know, Ivorians, there's always this fight between Ivorians and Cameroonians, and they keep laughing at us because we just talk, and we do nothing, and Cameroonians are just good at empty noise. There is some work that we all have to wake up from sleep and do.
Doctor.
Otherwise, there will be no 2035.
Doctor, in the domain of education, what needs to be changed?
Good. We will say this and say this and say it again. Even as we are talking of change and institutional reforms and whatever, there is one key component that is very, very essential. You know, you can cook a big pot of soup and have the different meats and the spices, but there's that little thing, the salt. If the salt is absent, the whole thing is useless. So what is the salt of this institutional reform in the whole country? Is curriculum change. Is the training that we need to give to our young children in schools so that they are as good as the children in Asia. I'm thinking of Japan, I'm thinking of China, I'm thinking of South Korea, I'm thinking of Taiwan, I'm thinking of all those. They should be as good as the children in Germany, good as the children in America, not in football, not in playing football, in industry, in technology, in productivity, in management, in good governance. That is what we are talking about. And it comes from changing your school system so that you teach the children STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Then to add, you add the social sciences, the management, the good government, the good management, leadership skills, all these techniques and so on, so that they become productive. Now, when we talk of emergence, when you get to that point of emergence, your cities are beautiful. The roads are great. You have planes, you have cars, the transportation is great, the health sector is great, everything is great. But we could still do that. Let's suppose that God blessed us with so much. We could take that money and give to the Chinese and to the Americans and everybody. They'll come and build the best roads for us, build the best airports for us, build the best things. But if the Cameroonian has not changed his mindset, even though from the outside you see that glitter, if the Cameroonian youth has not changed and if he doesn't do it himself, it's a loss.
Because we are talking about education,
yes,
but we should also look at it from the holistic perspective. That is training people who will be able to respect the constitution, like he raised earlier on.
Yes. So it is education. It doesn't matter what sector of activity of life we are talking about, the education must be right. You know, I went to school in CPC Bali and James Indu. Those are mission schools where you are taught. You were taught the subjects and many other things, but yet they paid attention to our character formation. That character formation is something that we lack in our countries, and you could have the best engineers, the best doctors, you know, who have written an exam and passed, but if they lack character, you will get nowhere. So the greatest, you remember, again, succeeding in life is 75% your character, and all those your diplomas is only 25%. So we need to train people who have the substance and have, above all, character.
We're talking about reform, Salomon, but yes, we equally have to do, it equally has to do with the independence of the institutions. We know that we have ELECAM that is existing. We equally have the newly created Bilingualism Commission. How do we render them more independent so that they become more credible in the eyes of the people?
Léocum, une solution cosmétique.
On doit les réinventer.
Léocum, une solution cosmétique n'a jamais résolu un problème. Je vous prends un cas simple. Vous avez su, avant ELECAM, il y avait ONEL. Les élections étaient gérées d'abord par l'administration territoriale. Après, on a fabriqué un truc qu'on a appelé ONEL. Bon, pour essayer de faire encore devant les yeux des gens, on a encore fabriqué un autre truc qui est comme ONEL qu'on appelle ELECAM. Vous croyez qu'une institution sérieuse comme ELECAM peut dire dans l'un de ses articles que si, après une élection, un PV, ou bien les chiffres sont contestés, et que un candidat brandit un PV, si le PV de ELECAM et celui d'un candidat sont en contradiction, c'est le PV de l'ECAM qui doit primer. Vous trouvez que ça c'est sérieux? Ce n'est pas sérieux. Quand on fait infiltrer des choses comme ça, c'est pour démontrer à suffisance que nous n'avons pas un système qui est indépendant. Et vous regardez la composition d'une structure comme ELECAM, vous vous rendez bien compte que ceux qui siègent là-bas sont soit des anciens ministres du régime, membres d'un parti politique que je vais me faire le crédit de citer parce qu'il n'est pas très bon à entendre. Vous voyez que soit c'est des anciens secrétaires d'État, soit ce sont des anciens militants. Bref, ce sont des fonctionnaires qui ont fait allégeance à un parti politique. Et dans notre pays, il y a un embroglio, on ne comprend pas trop la différence qu'il y a entre parti-État et État-parti. Parce que, en même temps, nous nous rendons bien compte que c'est comme si l'État du Cameroun se confond à un parti politique, ou alors ce parti politique se confond à l'État. Dans un mode de gestion comme celui-là, on ne peut avoir aucune productivité parce que ça ne produit que des choses qui n'aident pas les gens à évoluer et ça n'aide que les individualités. Et c'est pour ça que nous avons le Cameroun inerte comme nous voyons aujourd'hui. La réforme institutionnelle dont on a besoin dans notre pays. Et quand je parle de réinventer le Cameroun, elle commence par ce qu'on appelle le socle d'un pays, la Constitution. Une Constitution ne doit pas être taillée pour favoriser les intérêts des individus. Une constitution doit être pensée et mise sur pied pour favoriser l'émergence d'un pays, pour le penser dans sa profondeur et pour l'amener au sommet et le concurrencer avec les autres pays. Quand j'entends parler du Cameroun, on parle du Tchad. Vous pouvez parler d'un pays, on vous prend l'exemple de la Centrafrique. Il faudrait bien qu'on explique aux enfants à une certaine époque. Le président centrafricain venait prendre le vol au Cameroun quand il voulait aller à l'extérieur. Idem pour le président guinéen. Mais aujourd'hui, le Cameroun loue les avions de la Guinée pour envoyer ces gens à l'extérieur. Alors, quand on arrive à des degrés comme ceux-là, est-ce que nous pouvons comprendre que notre pays avance? On doit commencer par la Constitution. On doit mettre sur pied les vraies bases qui fondent la République. Et à l'intérieur de cette Constitution, on doit intégrer, n'est-ce pas, les modalités qui font en sorte que la première chose qui doit être mise en avant, c'est l'intérêt général, le bon fonctionnement et l'équité dans la société.
Seulement BS.
Oui.
We have Elekam today, which is the organ in charge of...
Elekam n'est pas un organe, Léocum. Vous voulez que je parle d'Elekam
Let me come.
en profondeur?
I'm cueing you in, please. Don't get agitated. We are educating our televiewers who should be watching us from across the nation, just to tell them that at the end of this program, we are going to be announcing the winner for our contest of the month of July. As far as the mayors are concerned, j'étais relance Salomon Bias, Elekam existe aujourd'hui. Vous faites partie du parti MRC et vous allez sûrement compétir dans les élections organisées par Elekam. Qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire pour la rendre un peu plus indépendante à votre goût?
On n'a pas besoin d'une structure comme Elekam. Dans la nouvelle république que nous voulons, ne doit pas exister.
Non, mais la nouvelle république n'existe pas.
Je vous dis déjà
que
le Cameroun ne peut pas continuer comme il est là. Ce n'est pas possible. Il y a urgence à ce que une troisième république voie le jour.
Avant que ça naisse...
On ne peut pas faire avec ça.
Avant que ça naisse, ça veut dire que...
Je suis en train de vous expliquer...
Est-ce que vous êtes en train de dire que si les élections sont organisées l'année prochaine, vous n'irez pas...
Je vous dis bien que dans ce climat-ci, aucune élection ne peut être organisée. Ce n'est pas possible d'organiser une élection.
Now, we are talking about institutional reforms. Dr. Nick, do you also think, like many others, that there is need for the sanitization of certain sectors that are playing roles that are considered by many people as duplication? Take the case for the fight against corruption, where we have CONAC, we have ANIF, we have in all the ministries, units in charge of fighting corruption. Take in the case of contracts in Cameroon, you have the Ministry of Public Contracts, you have the Ministry of Public Works, you have the Ministry of Housing, all of them doing almost the same thing.
Yes, you know, we run ourselves into a very unfortunate situation. You know, we had, most countries have around 20 ministries. And the ministries are big and powerful. Yeah. So you have a big and powerful minister, and he has directorates, okay? Directorate of this, directorate of that, director of that. And the directors are also quite powerful. And so there's a chain of command down there. But it looks like, you know, I get the impression that we wanted to create more opportunities for people to have ministerial posts as gifts. You know, so we would go into a ministry and pluck out a directorate and call it a ministry and throw it over there. So at the end, you end up with a lot of people doing almost about the same thing and so on, and nobody knows, you know, knowing who's doing what. So, you know, it's like we say too many cooks spoil the soup, right? And at the end of the day, there's a job to be done. And there are so many people. I'm expecting that you're the one to clean the street. You are expecting that I should clean the street. At the end of the day, though we are 4 of us, the street is dirty. That's what is happening, and we need to clean all of that. First, of course, you know, there's a lot of waste of government budget on things like that. There's no efficiency and so on. So we need to streamline all of those because there's a lot of wastage. There's no question about that.
There is a lot of wastage. We move over to the newsroom to follow what has been prepared by our journalists out here for you guys. Stay put, don't move an inch, because we are going to continue the program after the news.
The inhabitants of Rai, a locality in the Douala 4 municipality, on Friday, 2nd August, witnessed the excavation of waste from this drainage system by the Douala City Council. According to some of the inhabitants, this environmental nuisance has been a long-standing problem to them.
I've been here for about 25 years, and really we have been suffering because of this drainage. At times, we come out to dig a drainage ourselves, but it cannot work. So we thank the council as they have come to dig it. But it will help, at least it will help all of us. No, in fact, when they will finish the work, I think we will make a meeting in the quarter. Somebody will throw something like a bottle will just inside the water, at least we'll hold the person, will move it back. We'll take care.
The blocked drainage system has been the main cause of this stagnant water along the newly rehabilitated Bonaberi stretch of road. This water has caused untold suffering to the commuters and most especially the traders of Marché du Rail.
Yes, they need to block again that water. Was sitting or either the women are on the block away, they put on them. When it's blocked, they move and they take out the ticket and never send out the ticket. They go find for me. When they look at this, so we know what it is. Not the only way to suffer. All man is suffer. Like this morning, person not from this to get fed. They carry a hospital. Overflow. All we don't come up and hospital.
All attempts to have the authorities of the Douala City Council on record yielded no results. Stagnant water preventing movement and preventing cars. Business people, be it customers or the sellers, is making things very difficult for them, and they're calling for the authorities that be to ensure that at least they remedy the situation. And we hope that the drainage system that the Douala City Council is currently carrying out will be able to provide a solution, a lasting solution to this crisis, to this problem faced by the inhabitants of Rai, Bonaberi, Douala. Bituga Stanley reporting for Prime Info.
Hepatitis is an inflammatory condition of the liver caused by a viral infection but not limited to, which can cause mild to severe diseases. There exist 5 types of hepatitis viruses referred to as types A, B, C, D, and E, with type A being the most frequent of them all. However, 95% of deaths from hepatitis is caused by chronic hepatitis B and C infection, and Cameroon stands at 10,000 deaths per year. Dr. Clement Dengue expatiates on diagnosis, symptoms, and other causes of the disease.
Quasi exclusivement par le sang. L'hépatite D, enfin, il y a des symptômes assez communs, comme une perte d'appétit. Le patient va présenter une forte fièvre, une élévation de la température, la jaunisse, une fatigue générale. Ça, ce sont des symptômes assez communs.
Good sanitation, protected sex, and avoiding close contact with infected persons are preventable methods for hepatitis, with treatments as follows.
Il est important de se rendre dans un établissement hospitalier pour poser le diagnostic et puis pour recevoir le traitement adéquat. Lorsque l'hépatite virale est dans sa forme aiguë, le rétablissement est assuré avec le traitement approprié. Maintenant, il y a des cas dans lesquels l'hépatite peut devenir chronique, notamment dans le cas des infections au virus B ou bien au virus C. Et dans ces cas de chronicité, le patient peut arriver à avoir ce qu'on appelle une cirrhose du foie ou alors un cancer du foie. Et ça, c'est beaucoup plus grave. Donc, comment est-ce qu'on fait pour éviter de contracter une hépatite? Eh bien, simplement en respectant un certain nombre de mesures d'hygiène, notamment une hygiène alimentaire, laver correctement les aliments qu'on consomme, éviter de rentrer en contact avec du sang ou alors des liquides corporels contaminés.
On World Hepatitis Day 2019, World Health Organization calls on all countries to invest in eliminating hepatitis through costing, budgeting, and financing of elimination services within their universal health coverage plans. Nonetheless, 124 out of 194 countries worldwide developing hepatitis plans, over 40% of them lack dedicated budget to support elimination efforts.
I want to members say for number 30 day for January 2007 we have become for here. We will get big mass for handing over for Cathedral Place for small support.
Born on the 31st of July 1944 in Gomrin, Bui Division, Northwest Region of Cameroon, His Lordship Reverend Emmanuel Mbalanjo Bushu has clocked 75. The Bishop of the Boya Diocese celebrated his 75th anniversary at the Divine Mercy Co-Cathedral Parish at Checkpoint Moliko Boya. Taking place at the auditorium of the Co-Cathedral, the ceremony saw a plethora of Catholic Christians from the region and the nation at large. The celebrations, marking the 75th anniversary of Bishop Bushu as he is known and called by many, began with a mass program and goodwill messages. The program was characterized by prayers, singing, the liturgy of the word, as well as the homily, which was drawn from the Holy Gospel according to St. Luke, chapter 1, the verse 9 to 55, and centered on giving thanks to God Almighty at all times. Delivered by the birthday celebrant himself, Bishop Bushu, he urged the Christians to live a holy life and act according to God's will. The celebrant, Bishop Bushu, appreciated the love and support shown him on his birthday. He thanked God for all the good and bad times encountered ever since he became the Bishop of the Diocese of Boya. The Diocese of Boya, he said, is a very dynamic community.
Thank God for making us a diocesan family. I think it's a very dynamic community and we do seek better.
Goodwill messages were given to the celebrants from all groups, institutions, and some individuals of the Catholic milieu. The chairman of the Pastoral Council at the Catholic Church New Town in Limbe, Mr. Wasonobet Binde, says Bishop Emmanuel Bushu is a humble person, quiet and discreet, but very resilient and hardworking.
Our shepherd, Bishop Bushu, who's been in this diocese for 12 forgettable years, only going to 13. What we can say of him, as many people acknowledge, is a very humble person, quiet and discreet, but very resilient and hardworking. Under his tenure, we've had a lot in the parish in terms of schools. The many schools they opened during his tenure.
Mama Vero Tangwa, a CWA member from St. Charles Luanga Parish, Moliko Boya, states that 12 years with Bishop Bushu as Bishop of the Boya Diocese has not been easy, but has been a good one.
12 years, it has not been easy, but it has been good with the Bishop. The Bishop has been very patient with us. He has stressed on the spiritual aspect of the diocese. That is why he named the co-cathedral the Divine Mercy Co-Cathedral after the Divine Mercy prayer group in the church, that we should foster the Divine Mercy prayers so as to bring peace in the country, peace in our families, and normal stability in the Christian home.
Also present to celebrate with Bishop Bushu was Cardinal Christian Wingan Tumi, a cardinal priest and the Archbishop Emeritus of Douala in the Catholic Church of Cameroon.
The Meme administration has embarked on the sharing of food items in the various quarters in Kumba, southwest region of Cameroon. Food items, mainly rice and bathing soap, are shared to locals, irrespective of the fact that some are not displaced. The happy recipients, though not willing to show their faces in front of our cameras, have welcomed the idea of a communion with the military and the administration, who look friendly while sharing food items amongst the local population, who are all faced with the challenges of the armed conflict. Coordinated by the sub-divisional officers and supervised by the divisional office, the military has continuously gone to some of the quarters on daily basis and mostly on ghost towns to distribute and call on the population to encourage family members to prepare for back to school 2019-2020 academic year. To most city dwellers, the food items distributed will help them have at least a daily meal, but lament on the fact that the administration has failed to resolve the crisis for peace to reign in the country. Meanwhile, others
Welcome back. You are watching Prime Hour on My Media Prime. Just to note that today we are going to present the verdict of the contest that was launched out here 3 weeks ago for our televiewers to vote their best mayor. Monday we are going to announce the next category for which people are going to be voting for. Many people are indicating that they want to vote the best school. Dr. Nick is here. I don't know whether
no, I don't want to campaign.
I don't know whether your school is going to be voted, but I'm sure next week we are launching the contest for the best school in Cameroon. So keep your votes in the fridge and in the basket so that next week, once we launch it, you start voting. We are continuing out here with our panelists who are in the house. We have indications that 2 of our panelists are caught in traffic. They have not been able to join us because it's been impossible for them to come past the Santa Lucia area of Bonamusadi. We continue with you. We are talking about the independence of our institutions. You say LECAM is nothing to write home about. You say, but you did not talk about the commission for the bilingualism commission.
Léo, toutes ces solutions sont des solutions cosmétiques. Vous vous rendez bien compte. J'ai parlé de l'ECAM. Je vais rentrer, m'exprimer sur la commission du bilinguisme et du multiculturalisme. Alors, nous sommes dans un pays qui est assis sur 2 systèmes juridiques depuis des années. Nous sommes un pays qui est assis sur 2 systèmes culturels depuis des années. Un héritage historique que tout le monde connaît. Nous sommes assis, n'est-ce pas, dans un pays où on ne sait pas ce qui s'est passé pour qu'on parte de la République unie du Cameroun à la République du Cameroun comme c'était en 1960. Les problèmes sont connus, on les connaît. Maintenant, quand il y a la crise qui s'installe depuis 2017, 2016, si j'ai bonne mémoire. 2016. Quand la crise s'installe, alors, nous avons vu la manifestation des enseignants et des avocats qui a été réprimandée de façon brutale comme on n'avait jamais vu, n'est-ce pas, dans le monde entier. Et certaines personnes se sont assises à Yaoundé, ils ont trouvé que résoudre ce problème, c'était revoir la traduction des tests de l'OHADA en anglais, qui d'ores et déjà n'avaient pas cette version, alors qu'on les avait dénoncés depuis qu'il y avait urgence. Qui avait pensé qu'il y avait matière pour régler ça? C'était même la commission du bilinguisme et du multiculturalisme qui venait comme le balai résoudre les problèmes historiques du Cameroun. Alors, nous avons bien vu, et nous le voyons, qu'aujourd'hui, la commission du bilinguisme et du multiculturalisme, qui n'est qu'une solution cosmétique, parce qu'en réalité, elle a été créée à tête chercheuse parce que ceux-là qui ne pensent pas Cameroun, qui ne pensent pas l'avenir du Cameroun, pensent qu'en créant des trucs à tête chercheuse, des commissions et tout ça, ça résout les problèmes de fond. Non. Où est la commission du bilinguisme et du multiculturalisme? Échec total. A contrario, tous ceux qui militent à l'intérieur ont des grosses 4x4 à hauteur de 80 millions. Ils consomment dans le trésor public du pauvre contribuable camerounais. Ils ont des frais de mission. Ils peuvent dormir dans des hôtels pour un travail qui ne porte aucun fruit et qui n'aide pas le Cameroun à se développer. Voilà donc ce qu'on appelle gérer un pays sur des bases qui ne sont pas des bases d'équité et qui ne sont pas des bases de fonds qui peuvent aider le Cameroun à titiller les pays comme le Japon, ou alors l'Inde, ou la Chine, ou même le Koweït, qui sont des pays aujourd'hui qui étaient pratiquement en dessous de nous et qui nous donnent des leçons en 2019. Moi, en tant que dirigeant, je ne peux pas résoudre les problèmes de mon pays par des solutions cosmétiques. Parce que les solutions cosmétiques, comme créer des commissions, ont toujours trouvé des limites. Il faut repenser le Cameroun. C'est pour ça que je dis que dans un pays démocratique, il y a des canaux qui créent la République. Parmi ces canaux, on ne parle pas des commissions. On parle de l'exécutif, on parle du Parlement et on parle du judiciaire. On parle en amont de la Constitution, qui est la base, la charte, qui instruit le fonctionnement de la République dans sa structure et dans son fonctionnement. Mais maintenant, quand on met à la tête un homme, il doit avoir la politique générale de la nation qui doit être assise sur des bases crédibles, des bases justes, des bases équitables, des bases de prospérité, des bases d'honneur, des bases de justice qui fondent la nation sur une certaine crédibilité. Dans mon pays, je suis surpris que c'est la médiocrité qui prime sur le mérite. c'est que c'est la corruption qui prime sur le bon sens, c'est que c'est le détournement de fonds publics qui prime sur la compétence, c'est que c'est prendre des gens de gauche à droite et mettre de côté ceux qui ont la valeur. C'est pour ça que mon pays a reculé de pratiquement 60 ans. C'est pour ça que Khmer avait près de 17 avions en 90 ou en 87 et 2 seulement aujourd'hui. C'est pour ça que nous avons comme les structures comme Camtel qui ne servent plus à rien et que MTN et Orange sont venus prendre le monopole de la communication. C'est pour ça que nous avons des structures comme la Camrail qui est complètement en déliquescence totale alors que nous ne savons pas pourquoi ça a été privatisé. C'est pour ça que nous voyons le port autonome de Douala qui ne fonctionne pas, qui est aux arrêts. Parce qu'il n'y a pas de politique réelle, pensée globale, qui met le Cameroun sur des bases crédibles. Et moi, en tant que Camerounais soucieux qui aime son pays, je voudrais qu'il y ait une réforme totale, qu'on repense ce pays et qu'on puisse mettre ce pays dans une échelle compétitive, qu'on mette l'homme au centre des préoccupations de la gestion gouvernementale, qu'on mette les vertus au centre de la gestion gouvernementale, qu'on mette de côté les tares qui nous pourrissent la nation aujourd'hui, telle la médiocrité, tel le vol, telle la corruption, tel le trafic d'influence, tel les conflits de compétences, tel le repli identitaire qui n'a rien à voir. Si on continue sur cette lancée, le Cameroun ne sera pas un pays à pointer du doigt.
Okay, Doctor, do you think that the institutions exist, the constitution exists, and the text that define how they are supposed to function equally exist? Do you think that there is what some people consider party influence? Because most of these institutions are manned by persons who militate with a particular party, and the tendency is for them to respect party discipline and not what the text says. Because what we explain the fact that the text says we should do this, we should render account, we should not steal, we should not do this. People continue doing it with so much impunity.
Well, it's very unfortunate that we are living this kind of drama in our nation. Yes, you know, like Bea was saying, there's no distinction between the party and the state and the parties. There's a lot of confusion. And of course, you know, he was blaming my party, the CPDM. Juste pour vous dire que je suis du RDPC, mais progressiste, moi là. Si on va apporter le changement, ça va marcher.
Je suis d'accord avec vous. C'est ce changement que nous voulons. Et vous voyez que vous et moi, nous n'avons pas de problème.
On n'a pas de problème.
Je crois en vos idées parce que c'est des idées meilleures. Mais quand on vous dit que, par exemple, je suis certains de vos camarades qui disent que nous sommes des créatures d'un individu.
No. The country is bigger than all of us, and we need to be working. We need to have some principle. We work on principles. If we work on principles, we have no problem, and I'm sure sooner or later the country will be corrected. Just like you are saying, there's this issue of party discipline. And the party discipline, actually in everything you have to have some discipline, but it should be intelligent discipline. It doesn't mean that you should just become a robot. Everybody has become a robot now just because of fear, because they want to protect their food, because they are mediocre, because they are not worth their salt, because, you know, so when you have a lot of mediocre people who come into a position like that, all they can do is sing and clap and not look at the facts, you know, and deal with the issues. They are just hand clapping. Just hand clapping doesn't make you a deputy or whatever, no.
Okay, Prince Joel struggled to join us in the course of the program. Good evening, Prince, and welcome. What should be done to give our institutions more power and not the cult of personality?
Good evening, Alio. Good evening to Dr. Nika that I'm meeting. Thank you. Bea's a friend and a brother. I'll just pick up from what the doctor said. It's simple. If we want to beef up our constitution, so many things in the country, we need to first of all wipe up what doctor called mediocrity. Mediocrity, why? Because we have a lot of persons who do not merit where they are. That's the first thing. If we had qualified people doing things that they are supposed to do, they will not hand clap, like he was saying. Why? Because they know that if I'm not here today, another company that is better off will pick me. But now we will have people who fake certificates. We will have people who do not master where they are normally supposed to sing praises to those who kept them there. Why? Because they know that once they leave where they are, they go to the next employer. The next employer is going to discover they are sacred. Okay, Leo. Recently, the Ministry of Basic Education had more than 18 fake certificates. People who wanted to be recruited, whereas they are not qualified. These are some of those people, when they have the opportunity, when they have the privilege to enter into the system, any organization where they found themselves, they have just one thing. They need to sing praises to those who are concerned. If they do not sing praises, they'll be laid off. And when you're laid off now, your next boss is going to discover your secret. That is one. The first thing is we need to put qualified people at qualified positions. And another thing which I think is very important here is the fact is it's a kind of politics. There's a lot of political dogma in the country. Why am I saying so? The country has been reduced to a one-party system. That's what I think. If you do not militate with the CPDM, it is very difficult to pick a job. Okay? As a journalist that I am, I've had young students who are not able to pick a job in a council, holiday job, simply because maybe their father is not X or their father is not Z. And maybe because they do not militate for a particular political party. If we had a system where there was a kind of political freedom, we would have had qualified people at qualified positions. So if our politics, if the political arena becomes a bit free, which for now I think is not that free, okay? For now we cannot 100% say that there is political freedom in the country.
You're not telling me how we can get our institutions more independent, eh?
That's what I'm saying. The first thing I've said, for us to get them independent,
we should get qualified persons.
Qualified persons, political freedom, okay? Because, Leo, it's very simple. The CPDM head, that is the head of state, Paul Biya, appoints Beas, a delegate in the ministry. Beas, who is another CPDM, picks another CPDM militant from his village. The militant may be Prince. Prince too picks Leo from his another area. But now if there is political freedom, okay, because we can still put qualified people to head institutions, but those qualified people now follow party disciplines. That is what I'm saying. I take an example from my village where I come from. Most of those who are principals, bosses, DMs, delegates are from the CPDM political party. And that is why each time there is a kind of a grand show that is organized, a friend and a brother in Dasi has organized one thing one time. And I could see persons, even the divisional officer boycotted the event. The Lord Mayor of that municipality did not show up. Why? Because once you show up, the cameras are going to pick you. And once the cameras pick you, Yaoundé will see you. And once Yaoundé sees you, the question will be, what were you doing at that occasion? Okay? Those are some of the problems. So we should have political freedom. We should have qualified people sit at qualified places. And another issue is, the government should also liberalize the economy. Liberalize the economy, what do I mean? If we had a very simple example, this is Leo. Leo, it will be very difficult for you not to be free. Why am I saying so? Your boss is free. That's what I'm saying. He's not maybe too linked to somebody. It means he doesn't have accounts. But when you have a system where people have a chain, where they must respect certain principles, there is bound to be mediocrity. So if they liberalize the economy, where more private sectors, where more private individuals come into the system and own businesses, they will now go for qualified person. Mediocrity will step out of the game. And when there is also political freedom, know what you have. I don't have a political party, Leo. I'm speaking like an observer. But what we have is, there is a particular group of persons, the CPDM. Once you do not belong there, for you to pick a contract, even as an individual, is problematic. You may spend years, you may spend days at a delegation just to sign a document for a contract. But once you belong to maybe the political party, you may not need to leave your office. You just need to give a call. Monsieur le délégué, bonsoir. Je serai dans votre bureau, même dans le soir. Even when même à la maison, when offices are closed. So what we are saying is, the system should be open. When the system is open, Leo, a lot of things are going to come into our country. Cameroon, Leo, I came late. It's just something, another before I leave. I came late because I was following the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Kecha Kotes. And as we were coming, I told the cameraman, I say, focus, my news now is this traffic. I want her to be an eyewitness. Okay? There are a lot of things in our country that need to change. Nobody, we are all patriotic. We love this country.
What did you want her to say?
What I wanted is that I want her to witness what the people go on a daily basis. We cannot say the Douala Highway is road number 2, I'm sure. Road number 2. That is a road that you spend more than 1 hour on the same spot. Why? Because there's just one entrance and one exit. No! You go to Yaoundé, the capital, the political capital of our country, where the car drops you at Mvan, it is made up of hedge of grass. No! This is not our country. We should beef up a lot of things in the country, Leo. There is a lot, we need a lot of transformation. Okay? Like you were saying, there need to be a lot of, they need to liberate us. Liberate here, I mean, another example, very simple. We have a mayor that is voted, and we have a government delegate that is appointed. Recently, we saw the drama between Menge Malapat of Douala 1 and Frix Ntone. Menge Malapat says, go out and collect 100 francs from people who park their cars. Ntone says, don't collect. But if we had a system, if the system were free so much such that the people vote as they vote their mayors, and the mayors decide, it would have been different. There would have not been power conflict. There would be no power tussle. So, Leo, I'm rounding off by saying we need to bring in qualified persons. Let's strike away mediocrity. Let us liberate the political field, which is to now is so, how do I put it? It's so tight. It's so tight because once you apply, once you give a demand for an authorization to hold a conference, like the MRC has been doing, like the SDF has been doing, and other political parties, it is never granted. Okay. But the CPDM will apply for it today, and tomorrow they have it.
Yes, Doctor.
Yes, I just wanted to come back to something that Joel said so that our listeners, they don't get confused. Okay. You know, also when we are talking like this, you know, depending on the background you've got, you know, you would come out with some ideas, and sometimes we need to kind of like tell them. You know, when Joel was talking, he said something about liberalizing the economy, and I wanted to come back to this. And when he is talking about liberalizing the economy, he's wearing the lenses of a civil servant, he's wearing the lenses of an employee. You understand? And he sees it differently. And when we talk of liberalizing the economy as an entrepreneur, I see it differently. What he expects as liberation, we already have. We have it already. Yes, you understand what I'm saying? The economy has been liberalized in the sense that the government is actually begging people, please go out there and create jobs. Please create industries. You know, they have formed this guichet unique where you can easily do things. They have given all sorts of incentives so that people can create jobs. But unfortunately, our school system, like we said, has trained people who are not able to go out there and do this. And then when people are trying to create jobs, they just want to be contractors so that they can jointly with whoever steal money. You know, but the contractor is not really doing any service to the country. They are just stealing. But we need to be able to create industries and create jobs. So, watch my lips. The economy has been liberalized in the sense that if you are thinking of anything that is lawful, as long as it's lawful, go out there and do it and create jobs for yourselves, and for the youths. You know, bring in foreign currency, do all of these things. Nobody is stopping you. If somebody is stopping you, let me know.
Our best mayor is Njong Donatus of Kumbu. Njoku is writing from Boya. Njoku, we are no longer voting. The verdict is known already. It is going to be made public during this program. By the end of this program, we are going to announce the winner for this month. Good evening, Leonard. No strategy can work with this system in place. This government has proven that they don't even know what emergence is, talk less of putting up strategies and implementing them. A government that has no mechanism for checks and balances. A government whose leader, in the name of the head of state, defends embezzlers of public funds. A country with no constitution, and even what they themselves put in place is constantly being violated by them. The only formula is to give the Anglophones and learn the Anglophone system from them. This is Tiku Felix writing from Boya. For Cameroon to emerge, certain structures need to be wiped out and use ideas of people like Dr. Nick Motale Ferdinand writing from Yaoundé. This one says, good evening. The educational system in Cameroon is good, but getting a job discourages most youths so as it discourages them who are the leaders in 2035. Good evening to you all in the studio. Doctor, I buy your idea, and one of the institutions this country needs to seriously work on should emergence really be effective is the electoral and judicial sector. The legislative branches too are just the worst. Otherwise, why should people be appointed to key positions? Why are there more than 2 political parties yet 1 election in the country? Tata Franklin says, where is this country really heading to? Look at the capital city of Cameroon. The situation is similar in Yaoundé. He's writing from Bamenda. Good evening. I'm DJ Innocent from Limbe. The fight against corruption is not the drama that accompany arrest and prosecution. That is just a small aspect of it. People have to be educated about the harm corruption brings and create an environment that is hostile for the corrupt. No message. This one says, good evening. Okay, good evening too to you. Branco is my name, from University of Douala, students of Master 1. The act of praise singing, as the journalist just says, is one thing that is bringing our nation down. Also, just are those who seems unqualified are those who live the life of laissez-faire in this country. We talk of multipartism, but what the truth is, we are still in a rubber stamp system and a dominating party system in Cameroon. So all this has to be handled so as to push up our nation. The act of appointment in Cameroon is one of the most pinpoint problem in Cameroon, needs to be handled. OK. Salomon Bias, est-ce qu'il faut réviser le statut de fonctionnaire camerounais qui doit être politique? Donc, vous êtes fonctionnaire pour servir l'État et non un parti.
Effectivement, le problème n'est pas de réviser le statut du fonctionnaire. Il n'y a aucun pays au monde où le fonctionnaire ne fait pas la politique. Mais il faut faire un distinguo entre le rôle politique et le rôle étatique. Vous vous rendez compte que dans les pays comme la France, c'est le ministère de l'Intérieur qui organise les élections. Mais il n'y a jamais eu d'ambroglio. Parce qu'effectivement, on connaît comment les élections se déroulent et la vertu qui supplante le déroulement de l'élection, c'est la transparence. Du moment où une autorité publique sait qu'elle est assermentée de pouvoir servir la nation, le service public est au-delà du militantisme politique. Ça supplante le militantisme politique. Et qu'est-ce qui guide ça? C'est le bon sens, c'est la vision. C'est ça qu'on voudrait pour tous nos Camerounais. Il ne faudrait pas que, étant sous-préfet, préfet ou gouverneur, que tu sois animé de prime abord de la fibre du parti. On ne t'empêche pas d'avoir une idée sur le fonctionnement politique de ton pays. Mais en tant que préfet ou sous-préfet, tu dois avoir une posture de neutralité et de transparence quand il s'agit d'organiser les choses comme les élections. Permettez-moi, Léo, je voudrais un peu revenir sur ce que mon copanéliste Prince a dit. Je n'ai jamais vu depuis que je suis né la CATV couvrir un événement d'un autre parti politique. Je ne sais pas, je n'ai pas souvenir.
Non, mais il ne faut pas appeler les noms des médias.
Écoutez, c'est le média national. Je vous comprends bien.
Appelez ça média national, mais il ne faut pas appeler
Léo, il faudrait qu'on évolue dans ce pays. Vous suivez un peu? Non, moi, je paye, Léo, je paye.
J'ai vu les activités de Cabral Libye. J'ai vu les activités de Cabral Libye sur la station nationale.
Léo, je suis citoyen camerounais. Je paye les redevances audiovisuelles dans ce pays. Alors, je peux parler de ce pays. Il faut qu'on se comprenne bien.
Allez-y.
Quand vous voyez un événement comme le meeting de Bafoussam, du RDPC, qui est relayé en direct sur la télévision nationale, alors, est-ce à dire que c'est le seul parti politique? Un autre parti politique ne peut pas organiser un événement de cette envergure au point d'être relayé sur la télévision nationale. Et un autre point que je dois préciser, je suis Camerounais, Léo, je n'irai jamais en exil Je n'irai pas en aventure. C'est ici qu'on va m'enterrer. Et je vais parler du Cameroun. Parce que c'est mon pays. J'aime ce pays et je vais le construire. Qu'est-ce qui peut faire en sorte que un préfet, un sous-préfet ou un gouverneur n'aille pas au meeting du SDF, ou du MRC, ou du CPP, ou du PCRN de Cabral Libye? Qu'est-ce qui peut leur motiver? Mais on les voit courir de façon ostentatoire. Quand il s'agit du meeting du RDPC, occuper les premières places, qu'est-ce que ça veut dire? Alors, où est la leçon que nous donnons aux enfants qui arrivent? Quel est l'esprit patriotique que nous inculquons à nos enfants? C'est que la médiocrité. C'est pour ça que je comprends en fait que quand un parti inférieur de l'État, comme c'est le cas chez nous, l'État cesse de fonctionner. Et c'est pour ça que l'État camerounais a cessé de fonctionner. Or, il ne s'agit pas de ça, Léo. Il s'agit d'être dans un pays où A est à la place de A, B à la place de B, C à la place de B, de C, mais où tous ces chiffres peuvent coordonner quand il s'agit de l'intérêt national. C'est ça qui est important dans un pays. Quand tu es sous-préfet, Léo, rien ne te lie de ne pas accorder une autorisation de manifestation à un parti politique de l'opposition. C'est toi qui donnes la garantie de ce que le déploiement sécuritaire sera fait pour la protection. Est-ce à dire que tous les autres militants des partis politiques sont ceux qu'on qualifie d'insurrectionnels, d'opposants, ceux qui veulent détruire la nation, et que les seuls vrais Camerounais sont ceux qui militent dans le CPDM? Faux! C'est une façon de créer une ségrégation de fait qui est visible et qui n'aide pas notre pays à évoluer. Léo, mon père me disait, il m'a toujours dit, que quand on chantait l'hymne national à une certaine époque dans ce pays, les gens s'arrêtaient. Quand on levait le drapeau, les gens s'arrêtaient. Léo, je vois même les policiers, les hommes en tenue, qui ne s'arrêtent pas quand on lève le drapeau. C'est sidérant. Je le dis. Mais c'est ce que nous voyons.
Ils ont plus de responsabilités que toi.
Mais Léo, je suis en train de dire, oui. La loi camerounaise dit encore, oui. Si vous avez connaissance de la loi et que vous l'exercez, quand vous commettez une infraction, vous êtes puni doublement. Pourquoi on le dit? C'est parce que vous êtes censé connaître. Comment vous pouvez expliquer que vous êtes dans un taxi, pendant que le taxi est en train de s'aligner en route, un policier est sur une moto, il prend le sens contraire, en train de... Qu'est-ce que ça donne comme leçon à ceux qui dirigent?
Il est précis. Il y a urgence quelque part.
Ce n'est pas de cette République que nous avons besoin.
Peut-être qu'il y a braquage quelque part. Il faut vite.
Mais le souvenir que j'ai, c'est que quand il y a braquage, quand on les appelle, ils disent qu'il n'y a pas le carburant dans la voiture.
Doctor, what actually explains this aspect where civil servants feel more free to do things for the state and the CPDM and not necessarily feel a direct responsibility towards other political parties and service to the nation? Do we need to redefine the position of a civil servant in this country?
No, it's just that we don't seem to understand human nature. If you understood human nature, the answer would be obvious.
Okay.
And the answer to that question is really multifactorial. You know, there is a book I read, why you behave the way you do, why people do things the way they do. And when you understand human nature, you understand a lot of things. For starters, I'm sure you know about Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is, you know, what is that thing that pushes you to go out of your way to do things? There is, there was this philosopher, I think either he's German or Swiss or whatever, or Russian, I don't know. But he kind of like looked at all the human needs and then he classified them in a pyramidal form. And then he had five classes in the pyramid, and he created another one which is out of the pyramid, which is a higher level of existence. So the basic things that drive people around is food, water, air, and what else, excretion or something like that. Then you go to a higher level which had to do with safety and security. Then the third level is the need to love and to receive, to be loved and to give out love. The fourth one I think is the ego, you know, and then the fifth one in the triangle is self-actualization. Then when you go out of that is it's what is it? the transcendental face, so to speak. So when you look at most of these civil servants, first, if we took them apart and then just looked at them, they just studied subjects in the university or wherever, and they were just taken and put at a certain table, and they have no professional experience in any other thing. If you remove them from that table, they're as good as dead. That means they will have no food, they will have no roof over their heads, their wives are going to run away, and many of these things. So there are people who are not secure in their personalities. They are not secure. They live in fear because they are built on sandy ground. They are not solid, and their characters are shaky. When you are this kind of a person, you protect your garissa, and that gari is, like they say, la chèvre brute là où les attaché, je crois, c'est comme ça, n'est-ce pas? So yes. So people tend to be looking at that. They forget about every other thing, and they know that it is that office. It is that office. Everything of theirs is around that office. So technically, if you look at all Cameroonians, I think we are about 25 million Cameroonians, and the civil servants are about 250,000 or something like that. And I don't know who put it in the heads of these civil servants that they are superhuman beings. If someone doesn't have a matricule and is in the civil service, it looks like he's a nobody. Just empty ego. Now, so you need to hang to that to get some ego, to feel a sense of importance. I'm chef de bureau, I'm all this bullshit. And then they're hanging in there, and they have this little small salary that cannot carry them through 2 weeks. And then they have to do some funny things to cheat and live through the month. So this is the style. And they learn no other trade. They don't want to know. They don't even own a farm where they can grow some tomatoes or keep some chicken or something like that. No. They are just, the state to them is like a mother cow. They just put up their lips and they're sucking from mother cow. If you are telling him to take his lips up and say something else, and if the cow could move away and they will lose. So that is the main thing, that we have people who are poorly trained in this country. We have people who are very fearful. We have people who hang, like this malam with agbada. Children, when they are begging from them, they hang on their agbada. So all the civil servants are hanging on the agbada of the state, and they are supposed, they lie, they do all sorts of funny things so that they keep hanging. And if another person wants to hang, they will kick him off and so on. So that is the scenario of beggars.
Okay. If the country's political system is not freed from the CPDM-led gerontocracy and sycophantic supporters, as well says, then emergence will remain a myth rather than a fact. I'm Gande Paul Assa from Yaoundé. My regards to Mr. Joel. Okay. The Lord bless you all in the studio. I'm very happy and thankful to God for the people like Dr. Nick and Salomon who could give good advices even to the president on what to do and save our nation from this great shame. Sam from Huawei Mobile. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Leonard. This is Fai Collins writing from Mutengene. I love your program, but I think you should learn to change those in the panel. Okay. But to have new ideas, you keep okay. Okay, it's not easy. If you can join us, I'll be glad to have you join us to share your mind. Okay. Good evening to you at the studio. Kudos to Mr. Prince Joel for his courage and intelligence. I love you all and your programs. Lizzie is writing from Boya. Good evening to you all in the studio. I will want to point more on the laws of Cameroon. It is documented and not applied. One Supreme Judge made us to understand that our nation has no law. More so talking about the places of civil servants is an aspect of fear and the threats that come from the head leaders, of which majority are from the controlling party, CPD, that is Branco Eno writing. We are talking about independence of our institutions. It is true, Salomon Bias said Elekam has nothing to offer, but don't we think that the bigger problem is in the text of creation, the text that actually ascribes responsibilities to most of these institutions that are created? Take the case of take the case of CONAC, that only has to render accounts to the presidency before they are made public. He has no power to prosecute. Take the case of the Bilingualism Commission that only plays an advisory role to the presidency and a host of others. Take the case of ELECAM, which has no independence in its budget, that has to depend on the central government for money to survive.
Leo, I want to appreciate very much what Dr. Nick is saying, and what makes me to appreciate him is the fact that he said he's CPDM.
Yes.
And I want to believe he has this mentality because he has gone out of Cameroon. That's what I want to believe. Because it is very difficult. In fact, it is, how do I put it? It's absurd to find a CPDM militant say what he's saying. Because the CPDM militants I know is, je vais d'abord remercier monsieur le chef d'État pour... The thing is simple. The thing is simple, Leo. I'm answering your question. We need to revamp the system as a whole. Why am I saying so? I'm saying so because all commissions that have been created in this country are created through a presidential decree. Okay? I give you a very simple example, what I've just witnessed before I was coming here. We had a minister who comes to hand over keys to people who had paid houses. And instead of saying, I am, the head of state that I'm representing said, okay? It means that we have one man who is in Yaoundé, but he's all over. Because anywhere you meet a minister, anywhere you meet a civil servant, he is wearing, physically you're seeing the person, but internally and psychologically is Paul Biya. That is a major issue we have. If we had organizations, if we had systems that were free, if the head of state could create, like we have created a bilingualism commission, and it were free, it would have been good. But it cannot be free. Why is it like that, Leo? Because the people who are there are appointed. Simple. I ask you a very simple question. The bilingualism commission has said, Peter Mafani Mosonge, if you could have some questions, where did he do bilingualism? We're thinking that when you create commissions like this, there are young master students, PhD students who are doing bilingualism. Or you go to Asti in Boya and pick one guy who is doing masters and put him part of the commission. That's what we want. We don't want a system where people who have already been retired, hangover boot as footballers call it. Somebody sits in his house 30 years, 10 years, 15 years after he has gone for retirement. You go now, you picked him, he's already tired, the brain is tired. Leo, I give you, if you put Prince somewhere, I'm not saying they should appoint me now. If you put Biya somewhere, Biya has that energy to sign at least 60 documents a day. He's he just needs coffee for maybe 5 seconds, and he's working. But what our ministers who have and those who are in the offices are people who go for break for 3 hours. A man is in his office, and when you knock the door, Monsieur n'est pas là. So for us to revamp the system, Leo, it's very simple. Let the head of state create these organizations, these institutions, and let them be free. That's what I was saying. Okay? Let them be free.
But the minister has collaborators who should be working on it.
Normally, Leo, but the problem is the collaborators tie with the head of state. Okay? They are not free. My problem is freedom. Because I'm saying so because I know what is going on. Leo, have you ever gone that you want to do a competitive exam in this country and see the line that you need to go through for you to do a medical checkup? Doctor has a hospital. The state would have made it very easy that you can go maybe to Dr. Nick's institute and sign. No. But the state will tell you, do it in a state hospital, at times a regional hospital. It means that somebody who is in Kwakwa or in Akwaya needs to travel from Akwaya and come to Kumba Regional Hospital. No. Those are some of the things we are saying. It means that the system is not free. That's what I'm saying, Leo. If you need to sign a document in this country, you need to go to the delegation. And when you go to the delegation, at times there are those who call themselves middlemen, who some of them are even dedicated by those who are at the boss at the center. You need to give your document. He takes to another person takes to another person. Let the system be free.
Let the system be free. Greetings to you, Leonard, all the panelists. I go with the newly created slogan in this country, which says, if you understand Cameroon, it means you are not okay as well. Just like one of the panelists said, what is the essence of having mayors at the same time government delegates? Who are we fooling here, if not ourselves? Let us all look at where the water flows from and make sure it is clean and properly treated, because it is said, When a flowing stream is contaminated from the source, every other part of it must be contaminated. The reformation should start from top, I mean the leaders. Only then will we be able to start apprehending and appreciating emergence. That is Achere Eta writing from Sandpit in Boya. Good evening, panelists. Doctor, how liberal in this is this economy? The leakages of this economy are never ever injected. Before I was born, someone said the youths are the leaders of tomorrow. That was in 1982. 38 years later, in those days, youths are still waiting for tomorrow. How do we survive in a country when your growth is determined by your political affiliation and all your technical know-how? Where meritocracy has left the house to network and connection. It's bizarre, and for this to be corrected, the present regime and its members have to be overhauled and a new birth experience. However, before then, let us bring the knives to the table and do the obvious. St. Derek, thank you for your message. Greetings in the studio. Greetings, Mr. Leo. I like the program. My own option is to put in use Article 66 of our Constitution, and certain institutions should be wiped away, such as the government delegates, which hinders the works of the mayors. Marvin is writing from Kumba. Good evening to you in the studio. Which emergence are we talking about? Okay, the message is not complete, so I can't also read it to the end. Good evening to all. Please, this system of government needs general overhauling, that is education, etc. John is writing from Ndop Ngoketunja Division. All we need to come out of this problem is just the truth and fear of God that permits the respect for one another. Our country will know peace again. Reverend Father Mike Dunali. Good evening, Father. Greetings. Just as Prince said, we have robotic ministers who are like controlled psychologically. These commissions need to first be dissolved before a good one can be recreated again. Okay, Branko, thank you for that message. We move on to our next topic to discuss very briefly on who is fueling tribalism in the country. Tribalism is on a free glide up the social ladder fabric in the country. Who is responsible for this? Let me ask you.
Il faudrait d'abord qu'on essaie d'expliquer un peu aux gens ce que c'est que le tribalisme. Parce qu'il y a une déjà cacophonie qui peut être faite. Le tribalisme, en fait, c'est le fait d'être détesté parce que vous appartenez soit à un groupe ethnique, soit à une religion, soit à une croyance. Ça, c'est du tribalisme. Ok. Alors, qui entretient ça dans notre pays? Qui entretient le tribalisme dans notre pays? S'il faudrait que je replonge quelques années en arrière, j'étais très jeune quand les élections, du moins même petit, je pourrais utiliser le terme, quand les élections de 92 ont pris corps au Cameroun. C'est qu'à cette époque, il y avait un concept qui était remonté en surface. On parlait du concept anglo-bami. J'étais très petit, je ne comprenais pas du tout ce que ça voulait dire. Après, il y a eu d'autres élections qui se sont passées. On a vu une montée accrue, n'est-ce pas, des messages, jusqu'à ce que le pic soit en 2018. Mais la lecture que je peux aussi faire au niveau des institutions, c'est qu'on se rendrait bien compte qu'à un certain moment donné, il y a des services, du moins il y a des démembrements de l'État qui peuvent être réputés appartenir à une certaine catégorie de personnes. Quand vous allez peut-être au niveau de la santé, vous voyez la coloration qui y est. Quand vous allez dans l'administration générale, vous voyez la coloration qui y est. Quand vous allez au niveau de la justice, vous voyez aussi la coloration qui y est. Et ça prête à une certaine interprétation. Alors, les événements de 2018 nous ont démontré à suffisance d'où vient le tribalisme dans notre pays. Parce qu'en fait, quand quelqu'un peut être taxé, n'est-ce pas, peut être poussé au plus profond de lui-même et qu'on indexe sa région d'origine, qui pourrait être la cause de ce qu'il est, alors ça c'est du tribalisme. Et moi je pense que c'est notre État qui entretient ce système de choses. Parce qu'un État sérieux ne peut pas laisser qu'on stigmatise un citoyen, qu'on stigmatise un résident, qu'on stigmatise quelqu'un qui vit au Cameroun sous prétexte qu'il soit Bamileke, Bassa, Ewondo, Boulou ou Eton. Et en plus, quand on regarde le système de fonctionnement, on pourrait parler même qu'il y a un tribalisme institutionnel, dans la mesure où, quand on voit la répartition même des postes au niveau des cimes du pouvoir, on se rend compte qu'il y a des ethnies qui sont privilégiées que d'autres. Quand vous arrivez par exemple à Bonanjo, vous entrez peut-être dans un service public, on ne parle qu'une seule langue. Je ne vais pas la nommer ici. Mais c'est le constat que nous faisons. Quand vous voyez les résultats du concours de l'ENAM, il est tellement clair, parce que même un aveugle voit que pourquoi ceux qui réussissent sont d'une même région. Alors, ce sont des réalités qui sont palpables et visibles. Et c'est pour ça que nous pensons que notre État ne doit pas cautionner ce type de choses. Je voudrais en une seconde, une seconde pour que je passe là-dessus. Le concept d'autochtone et d'allogène qui est codifié dans la Constitution rend encore accru ce tribalisme. Comment expliquer qu'un gars soit né à Douala, qu'il ait grandi à Douala, qu'il ait fait ses enfants à Douala, qu'il ait bâti sa vie à Douala et est appelé allogène? Pour moi, ça n'a pas de sens. Et ça a été codifié dans la Constitution. Au point où quelqu'un qui vit en France 35 ans et qui est Sawa, qui revient à Douala, dit à quelqu'un qui n'est pas Sawa que toi tu es allogène alors que celui-là a vécu 40 ans pendant que lui il était en France durant ces 40 ans. C'est une aberration, ce n'est même pas compréhensible.
C'est une aberration qui se vit partout et pas seulement à Douala. Many people think that politicians are actually fueling this whole issue of tribalism because let's take, for example, the periods of presidential campaigns where we saw some people describing others like as sardiners because they belong to a political party. Others describe others as anti-sardiner, and a lot of insults were being traded. At the end of the day, we never saw the heads of the respective political parties coming out to outrightly condemn and sanction their militants caught in this.
Well, that's an African way of doing politics. We don't have any values attached to the politics. And all we are interested in is winning. It doesn't matter what tool you use. But it's very unfortunate because we need to move away from these tribal tendencies. It doesn't matter what we are doing, all this tribalism. And if you look at it again very carefully, remember I told you about the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You know, everything still goes down to the belly. It's the belly that is controlling all of that. So you look at the whole thing and say, if this other fellow from my tribe wins, then I'm more likely to have some food to eat, and you know, I'm more likely to be appointed. This other guy, we can kick him out of his office so that I take his office and take his big car. You see, that's the thought process. It's not about programs for common good, trying to see what you can do to make the country move better and so on. So it's all about this this African mentality. And I was thinking about it, if we just leave that where it is and step back a little bit and try to be more open-minded, we'll realize that all of those things are created by a bad economy and poverty. All right? So if you can liberate the economy, what do we mean by liberate the economy? That's teach people how to catch fish. So that many people are catching fish, there will be enough fish for everybody to eat, and you will not need to bribe to get fish. You get what I'm saying? Yes. So that is the thing. How do we create jobs for our youth? If we take the agricultural sector and do it very well, we can give 2 million jobs to youths in 1 year. It's possible. It's about creating opportunities for youths, you know, and we have not been looking at our economy very critically, and we've been wasting a lot of resources. You know, just to give you an example, there's a guy who imports fish into this nation. I want to call his name on this plateau, as they call it. And you know, there was something in the social media that opened my eyes as to what most of them are doing. You know, GCAM has been complaining a lot about this, and that. But I'm here to tell you today that GCAM has not actually succeeded as a structure. When we look at it, yes, it's made of a bunch of rich people who make money and who pull the strings and so on. But technically, GCAM as a structure has not helped the country to get industrialized, to create jobs for youth and so on. They could create jobs in the sense that they go and buy Chinese rice and come and call a few Africans or Cameroonians to sell the rice, but that's not a job. Okay, that's not what we are talking about. You know, we should be looking at people, because when we are talking about economy, there's one factor that you can use as a measure, the dollar or the foreign currency. What is it that you are doing in your business that earns the country dollars? Or if you are buying even 10 ships filled with fish every 2 weeks, you are actually causing losses to the nation, in the sense that you are taking the dollars and you are throwing them away, when you ought to have constructed fish farms so that you can reserve the dollars. So it is our use of foreign currency that determines whether tribalism and corruption will finish. When the economy is good, we earn dollars. We don't throw away dollars. If you cut the tree trunks and throw away and sell and get dollars and throw that away, they will continue. Tribalism will continue and corruption will continue.
Joel, social, political, economic exclusion is said to be forcing people to regroup themselves in tribes, in regions, in subdivisions, in villages, so that they can defend themselves. For example, almost every village has a cooperative. You see, there's Doleti Cooperative Credit Union, there is Ndu Cooperative Credit Union, there is almost every village. And that is, yes, everybody is regrouping themselves along regional, tribal, and village lines.
It is true, it's very true, Leo. It is very difficult to find a community, no matter how small, that does not have a cooperative. Yeah. It is, I think it is because of the fact that tribalism in our country is a cankerworm that has gone too deep within us, that is going to take time. One person, a friend, told me that for Cameroon to change, there is need to wipe away all the generation now and another generation comes up. Why? Because the idea of corruption is so deep into our minds. If the elements of corruption are all over, it's handwritten, it's very clear. One, if you look at competitive exams in our country, each time they are published, I'm not diverting from your question, Okamba, because
I'm talking social, political, and economic exclusion that is pushing people to regroup around their villages and tribal.
No, normally, it's very normal. Why am I saying to you? Because somebody will not want to invest or put his income somewhere where he feels that he does not really feels identified. Why am I saying so? I'm saying so because when you go to offices, very clear. Go to an office in Yaoundé, go to even to the Northwest, a few persons, even in a bank, the 3-4 persons you meet in that institution speak one dialect. So somebody feels frightened keeping his money there. What will he want to do? He wants to be identified in another institution that looks like him. And that is how tribalism keeps coming up. But if the people were free, Leo, if the people had a system that did not promote tribalism, because remember, if we are finding ourselves here we're talking about exclusion.
Themselves to political parties according to tribal lines.
No, that's what
Leo has a party. I have to
Leo, it's because you gave me constraints. I really wanted to feel very free politically.
Feel free.
Yeah. Now, yes, Leo, a very simple example. Big guns of the social, I said I don't militate with the political party. We know big guns of the Social Democratic Front and some even of the CPDM who resigned in the just ended presidential elections and joined their brother of the West Boris Kamto. The evidence are clear, we know that. Okay? We know people, there was a minister in this country in the Southwest region. Once he was minister, once your name, because he came from a region, that the name, sing it, everybody knows the name. At times we blame even those from the South. No, we too, we do practice it. Once, by then he was heading secondary education. You should know what I'm talking about. Once your name came out, you have succeeded. That is why a majority of them are into teaching. That is the thing. So tribalism has gone so deep into our system that for it to be wiped out, I don't think it can be now, Leo. It will take a long time. Why? Because as I appoint or I make my tribesman a minister, or I make him enter into Enam, the next day he puts his own son. His son puts his son. So it's a whole chain.
God can work miracles.
It's difficult. It's very difficult, Leo. Leo, I like saying and bringing example from where I come from. Okay? One man who is a Secretary of State has lined a whole chain of people who comes from his village, who comes from his own area. And those same people are thinking about him. And those same people will still keep appointing other people. If not you, how do you explain the fact that a student who had 2 papers in the advanced level, history, religion, and with 2 points, succeeds ENS when another child who had 21 points failed? It's miracles. That's what I don't understand, though, because some of you have institutions. A child has 2 points. He's in ENS. Those who watch like Ngande Paul Asa, who called this in Yaoundé, is a friend, is a teacher. They know some of these realities. Somebody who cannot have 2 points succeeds an exam. Why? Because his own elder man is up there. That is tribalism. It means that meritocracy has shifted up. And because meritocracy has shifted up, there must be tribalism, Leo. And I want to tell you that, Leo, we are saying that fueling it. Who is fueling it? All of us who are fueling it. We are fueling it. It is not an individual. Prince that I am to the Leo, let's be very honest. If Prince has the opportunity to have a big job tomorrow, the next thing will, do I have a brother who maybe has advanced level? Okay. Do I have a brother who has a first degree? Okay. And at times we struggle to even shift and give funny names. That is why at times a lot of people are being dismissed when the real person comes in. Ask yourself why when another minister from another region comes, the delegates are being transferred.
Let us take some evening again, please. This word tribalism starts in their presidency and is from the head, which has shared down to a system that is doing its good work all over the place. Please let me use this word. When your brother is on a plum tree, you need to eat the black ones. So what do you expect? So you're encouraging tribalism. I'm really impressed with your brilliant points, sir. So the creation of job is so pointing, as you said. More so, tribalism brings marginalization in Cameroon and conflicts between the chains created, as Mr. Prince pointed. Okay, thank you for that. This one says, greetings to you all in the studio. Dr. Nick, even though a CPDM member, he cannot be appointed minister in our present Cameroon because he doesn't know how to tell lies. Mr. Peter Eta, writing from Kumba.
He doesn't know how to sing praises.
Yes, thanks, Mr. Liu. I like the program by Mr. Yila. Mr. Yila, thank you too. Good evening to you. Good evening. Is Philippian from Limbe, Cameroon, can never develop with this government. Okay. This one says, good evening to you all. Let the government of Cameroon give the youths a chance to govern because the youths have a positive momentum towards the development of this country. Well, let's take this last one. This one says, tribalism in this country is found by a TV channel and some defendants, okay? The Bulus, Bamilikes, Northeast, and Southern Cameroon's tribalism is a canker worm that has eaten so deep into the white blood cells of Cameroonians. Okay, I'm sure this is what many people are saying. Good evening to you all in the studio. We should not even think of emergence because the state is the worst era since independence. Gideon is writing from Yaoundé. I think the issue of tribalism more generated by some people who have already been injected with the mentality of saying that Anglophones always reason to the left. Yeah, I have heard some people say there's Anglophone song gauche that is also hate speech. Good evening to all in the studio. The emergence, the head of state of all the CPDM diehards always talk about is emergence to a one-party system. George writing from Bamenda, Dr. Ningwanyam is not of the CPDM. Yeah, you think so, but he is truly a CPDM. Hello, Mr. Liu, in terms of tribalism and hate speech. Okay. Please, we can't call names here, please. Now, we go to the verdict of who our best mayor is. We'll take this few minutes to give the first 15 mayors as you voted. More than 48 of them were voted. Some have 2 votes, some have 10, some have 15, some have 18. But I will start from the 17th position is Dr. Tanjong Martin of Tuba Council with 32 votes. We have Shea Fidelis of Mbiame Council. He has 34 votes. We have Jacques Mabula of Yabasi Council. He has 37 votes. We have Nembo Israel of Wabane Council. He has 38 votes. 13th position, we have Ayub Taku Ojong of Mamfe Council. He has 46 votes. We have Peter Temchere of Zua Council. He has 48 votes. We have Fongu Kletus of Bamenda 3 Council. He's occupying the 11th position with 54 votes. We have Balik Awa Emmanuel of Bamenda 2 Council. He is occupying the 10th position with 55 votes. We have Drambong Anthony of the Womb Council. He has 61 votes. He occupies the 9th position. 8. We have Rodani Mboa of Limbe 1 Council. He has 70 votes. We have the 7th position, Dang Dennis of Fundong Council. He has 152 votes. We have Mokondo Daniel Ngande, His Royal Majesty, the Lord Mayor of the Tiko Council. He occupies the 6th position with 152 votes. He has 163 votes. We have Ken Michael, the Mayor of Moyuka Council. He occupies the 5th position with 214 votes. John Kona Makia of Kumba 3 occupies the 4th position with 276 votes. Ebako Ebendo of the Kumba 1 Council, according to our contest, occupies the 3rd position with 313 votes. And then we have on the 2nd position, we have Ekema Patrick Esunge, Lord Mayor of Boya Council with 435 votes. And on the top position, I don't know whether we have his picture, he is Lord Mayor Njong Donatus of Kumbo Council. He is the winner for this July contest. He has 456 votes. That is the winner of the contest according to the votes of our televiewers. We are going to do a special occasion to honor all the winners at the end of the year. Next, on Monday, we are going to announce another contest for the month of August. We want to say thank you to all of you guys who took part in this contest voting. Prepare yourselves for this month, the month of August. We are going to open another contest for a different category. Dr. Nick, we are glad to be part of the show. And one word for the mayor.
Oh yeah, it's a guy I admire a lot. I mean, it's a good friend and a friend not because the tribal thing or whatever. It's just because he does a good job.
Okay.
I get attracted people who do good work.
You know Mayor Njong Donatus?
Yeah, I've heard much about him, Leo, and I think that picking the first position, given irrespective of what is ongoing, Kumbo is one of the areas that is highly hit by the crisis. Is what can I say? Congratulations to him, and I think that those who did not actually succeed they have other opportunities in the days ahead.
Salomon, tu connais le maire de Kumbo?
Particulièrement, je ne le connais pas, mais ce que je sais, c'est que moi, je pourrais lui accorder une présomption de bonne gestion, comme viennent de plébisciter tous ceux qui ont voté, parce que dans ma mémoire, je sais effectivement que quand on parle de gestion, les anglo-saxons ont le meilleur modèle de gestion, donc ça ne me surprend pas.
Il est maire plus de 20 ans, hein. Personne n'a pu l'enlever.
Je suis en train de dire que c'est parce qu'en réalité, le système anglo-saxon est le meilleur en matière de gestion. Ça ne pourrait pas me surprendre parce que, étant un anglo-saxon, je pense qu'il est bien dans
we want to say thank you to you, Desmond, and to you, Eli, and to you, Jerry. We equally want to say thank you to you, Mr. Tambe Tabi. Bryant, who is supervising all we are doing out here. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.